Good day everyone, welcome back to another pre-recorded session of our geometry class. Today we will be exploring another topic which is titled parallelograms and other quadrilaterals. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to identify and describe the different properties of parallelograms and quadrilaterals and solve some problems involving these figures. Before we dive into the main topic, let's start with something broader, which is all about polygons. So what is a polygon? So the word polygon comes from the Greek word poly, which means many, and gonia, which means angle. So literally, polygon means many angles. So if we look at another definition, a polygon is a closed figure formed by line segments in a two-dimensional plane. So these sides meet only at their endpoints and exactly two sides meet at each vertex. So let's look at closely the different properties of polygons. So number one, a polygon is formed by three or more straight line segments. So, ibig sabihin, you need at least 3 lines or line segments in order to create or construct a polygon. So, triangle is the polygon with the least amount of sides, which is, of course, we obviously know triangle meron siyang 3 sides. So, again, you cannot create a polygon if you only have 2 line segments because it is a requirement that a polygon should be a closed figure. Second property, a polygon has exactly 2 sides that meet at each vertex. So correspondingly, if there are 3 sides of a polygon, let's say your triangle, then there are also 3 vertices. So kung ilan yung number of sides, yun din yung number of vertices. Third property, polygons. The sides of the polygons do not cross each other. Okay, obviously, based on these figures in our screen. And the last one, polygons are named by the number of their sides. So let's look at some common examples of polygons with their names. So here are some. No? So for three-sided polygon, so the name is triangle. For 4 sides, quadrilateral, 5 pentagon, 6 hexagon, 8 octagon. So here are the generally accepted names. Okay, so generally we can name an n-sided polygon. Okay, so using this notation or naming convention. So let's say you have 49 sides. So the name of that polygon is 49-gon. Okay, so presented in your screen are also other names which are not normally used. For example, polygons having 20, 30, 40, 50 sides, no? So nandito yung kanilang mga not so commonly used names. So for 20-sided polygon, you have icosagon, 30 triacontagon, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's proceed to the main topic, which is all about quadrilaterals. So quadrilaterals or the polygons with 4 sides. So essentially quad means 4 and lateral means sides. So the basic definition is quadrilateral means 4 sides. So suppose we have this figure right here. So we say that ABCD is a quadrilateral, no? So we name quadrilaterals based on the 4 vertices, no? So vertex A, B, C, and D. So therefore, this is a quadrilateral because we have 4 sides. You have side AB, side BC, side CD, and AD. You also have 4 vertices again. So kung ilan yung number of sides, yun din yung number of vertices. So you have vertex A, vertex B, C, and D. And then, if you connect the two opposite vertices, you can form or create diagonals. So you have diagonal AC and then diagonal BD. Okay? So for this session, we are going to discuss the different types of quadrilaterals, because later on, we will see that these different quadrilaterals have different properties. So what do we mean by that? Some quadrilaterals have special properties and also unique names, and we must know in this topic what makes each one special. Okay, so obviously there are some of these figures na alam na natin since elementary, no? So we know square, rectangle, and some of you have already encountered the term trapezoid or even yung term na parallelogram. So let's recall what makes each one of these quadrilaterals special. So ano kaya yung pinagkaiba ng trapezoid sa rectangle and sa square? So let's start with parallelograms. So a parallelogram is a special quadrilateral. Bakit siya special? It's because a parallelogram has two pairs of parallel sides. Okay, so again, two pairs of parallel sides. So if we are going to look at this figure, nasaan dyan yung two pairs of parallel sides? So if we look at side AB, okay, and side DC, these two sides are opposite, and at the same time they are parallel to each other. And side AD and side BC, again, these are opposite sides as well. They are also parallel. So that's why they term this figure as parallelogram. So again, keywords, two pairs of parallel sides. Okay, so let's look at the different properties of a parallelogram. So consider, again, ABCD is a parallelogram. So first property, each diagonal separates a parallelogram into two congruent triangles. So if we draw here diagonal AC, then meron tayong mafo-form na dalawang triangle. So you have here triangle ADC and then triangle CBA. Okay, so based on the first property, the two triangles are congruent. But let's try to prove that, no? So ano kayang theorem or postulate ang gagamitin natin so that we can justify that the two triangles are indeed congruent? So if we look at the figure, we say that angle 2 is congruent to angle 1 because they are alternate interior angles. So similarly, angle 4 is also congruent to angle 3 kasi those are also alternate interior angles. And then for the common side of both triangles, you have side AC is congruent to side AC. Okay? So you have two pairs of angles that are congruent and one pair of congruent sides. So we can say that by ASA postulate. Okay, so by ASA postulate, triangles ADC and triangles CBA are indeed congruent. So that's the first property. Second property of a parallelogram, any two opposite sides are congruent. So earlier we know that two opposite sides are parallel. So this time, sinasabi din sa second property that aside from them being parallel, they are also congruent. So AD is parallel to CB. At the same time, they are congruent. Okay? AB is parallel to DC, and at the same time, they are congruent. Third property, any two opposite angles are congruent. Okay, so let's look at the vertices this time. So we have here vertex A So you have the interior angle A, okay? So the opposite to angle A or vertex A is angle C or vertex C. Okay, so by the third property, these two angles are congruent. So similarly, angle B is also congruent to angle D because they are opposite angles. And for the fourth property, so this time let's look at two consecutive angles. So consecutive meaning magkasunod. They are adjacent. Okay, so let's say angle A and angle D, they are adjacent, they are consecutive, magkasunod sila. So if we get the sum of the two angles, the sum should be 180 degrees, meaning two consecutive angles are supplementary. So 60 plus 120, that is equal to 180. So similarly, if you want to get angle D and angle C, so again, these are also consecutive angles, magkatabi sila. So the sum, 120 plus 60, also 180. Okay? And then for the last property, so again, if we construct the diagonals, so here in this figure, we have diagonal AC and diagonal DB, and they intersect at point E. Okay? So we say that point E is the midpoint of the two diagonals because based on the fifth property, diagonals bisect each other. Okay, so for diagonal AC, no? So this diagonal, so AE is congruent to EC. And for the second diagonal, diagonal DB, so DE is congruent to EB. Okay, so those are the 5 properties of your parallelogram. Okay, so with that, let's have some practice exercises. So we have here an illustration of parallelogram ABCD. Okay, so ABCD is a parallelogram, and there are some missing angles and sides. So we need to solve the value of these missing parts. So let's try to solve first x. So x is the value of, or the measure of angle C, no? So what do we know based on the given figure? So the angle opposite to vertex C is A, or angle A, no? So by the third property, any two opposite angles are congruent. So ibig sabihin, the measure of angle C is congruent to the measure of angle A. So if angle A is 120 degrees, then angle C is also 120 degrees. So that is the first missing value here. So x is equal to 120. Okay? So for the next missing variable y, so y is the measure of angle D. Okay? So if we are going to look at angle A and angle D, we say that these two angles are consecutive. So magkatabi sila, no? So by the fourth property, we say that any two consecutive angles are supplementary. So therefore, if we get the sum of angle A, and angle D, so that is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so substituting the value here, so measure of angle D is equal to 180 degrees minus the measure of angle A, which is 120 degrees. So therefore, angle D is 60 degrees. Okay, so that is the value of y. Y equals 60. Next variable is variable r. So r is the measure of side AB. Okay, but we know that AB is parallel to DC, and by the second property, opposite sides are congruent and parallel. Okay, so if DC is 15, then AB is also 15. And lastly, for the variable s, s is the measure of side CB, but CB and AD are parallel, so therefore they are also congruent. So s is 10. Okay, so those are the missing variables in this practice exercise 1. For the second exercise, so same yung ating given na figure. So it's still a parallelogram ABCD, and we want to solve the variables W, X, Y, and Z. So let's start with the first variable, W. So W is the measure of angle B, but we know that angle D is 115. So angle D and angle B are opposite angles, so therefore they are congruent. So W is 115. Next, variable X. Variable X. Okay? Sige, so variable X is this angle right here. Okay? And how will we solve this? So if we note, no, let's say angle D and angle C. So sulat natin, measure of angle D plus measure of angle C. Okay, so since they are consecutive angles, okay, their sum must be 180 degrees, so they are supplementary, no? So we know that D is 115, so we substitute in this equation. Then we get the measure of angle C. So that is 180 degrees minus 115 degrees. Okay, so ilan yon? 180 minus 115 is 65 degrees. Okay? Bakit natin ginawa yon? Because in this figure, okay, so angle C is divided into two parts. You have X and Y. No? So if we write the equation, so X plus Y is equal to 65 degrees. Yan. But still, missing pa rin yung X and then yung Y. Okay, and also yung Z, no? So if we form another equation for the variable Z, okay, so this time relating it to angle A, no? So angle A and angle C are opposite angles. So therefore, measure of angle A is also equal to 65. So if we get the components of angle A, that is Z plus 30, so that is equal to 65 degrees as well. Okay? So madali lang kunin si Z, so that is just 65 minus 30, which is equal to 35. So Z is 35 degrees. Okay, so tapos na tayo sa Z. We only need X and Y. But since this is a parallelogram, okay, and we have here two parallel sides, okay, and the diagonal AC will serve as the transversal line, okay, then we can say that Y, okay, so Y degrees, itong angle na to, and 30 degrees, so they are alternate interior angles. Okay, so alternate interior angles are congruent. So therefore, Y is 30 degrees also. Okay? So if Y is 30, then what is X? So using this equation, X plus Y equals 65. Therefore, X is 35 degrees. Okay, so yung X at Z ay pareho because, again, if you are going to look at the figure, they are alternate interior angles.